Gupta joins us, and she's got a special conversation on the sector of the day, sugar. Manisha.
Oh, well, absolutely. That is buzzing and how. And we have with us Mr. Deepak Ballani. He's Director General at India Sugar Mills Association, ISMA, that is. Mr. Ballani, hi, thank you so much for joining us. And clearly, a couple of notifications overnight and have done wonders for the mood and euphoria in the sector right now. The first one first, and all the restrictions that were put in the month of December seem to have been done away with. How is the industry looking at that one?
Yeah, hi, Manisha. I think we got a very good news last evening, and ISMA welcomes the decision by the government to lift the restriction on ethanol production. I think it is a right step by lifting the restriction from for ethanol production from juice, B heavy and C heavy. I think this will be a significant relief for the entire industry. We have seen a one-time occurrence where the restriction was put in place last year, December. But I think this will give a lot of confidence to the industry to go as per their planning on ethanol production. I think there are three things which are coming up very clearly from this decision. I think this shows that the government is very confident about meeting the ethanol blending program of 20% by 25-26. We are hopeful that we'll be achieving 18% in 24-25 and subsequently 25-26 or 20%. I think this also shows that the government is committed towards reducing the carbon footprint and also willing to walk an extra mile to meet the net zero target by 2070. I think it will also, very importantly, this will enable the millers, the industry, for making the timely payment to the cane farmers. I think this decision is also going to benefit a lot of farmers across the country. Finally, the decision is also reforming smart stand and smart study, which was basically based on various yield estimation and the crop estimation, that the next year crop is going to be good and we will have sufficient stock to meet both the domestic demand and absolutely unhindered ethanol diversion. I think having said that, Manisha ji, I feel this is just the half done. As said by many people, I think this is just the work in progress. We are now expecting the correction in the ethanol price, which has actually not happened in 23-24 as well in 24-25, even after the FRP has been increased. So now we are expecting the government to take a call on revision or correction of the price of ethanol, specifically from the sugar feedstock, juice, B heavy, and we are hopeful that this will...
Mr. Ballani, also, just coming to ethanol, and while you've said that the ethanol prices have not been hiked since 23-24, 24-25, but what about the sugar MSP? I mean, that hasn't been hiked from 2019. Are you pushing equally strongly for that?
Yeah, absolutely. As you know, we have both the ISMA and the Federation, we had done a complete pan-India weighted average of the cost of production, which we have already submitted to the government at around 41 rupees 66 paisa. We basically have also worked out a formula for calculation of MSP vis-a-vis FRP. And this is as per the past practice in 18-19 and 19-20, when it was 29 and 31 rupees. As per the formula, the MSP which we have proposed is 39.14. And we are hopeful that the government will take a decision on MSP soon and will enhance the MSP to around 39 rupees.
All right. Mr. Ballani, that's all about sugar and ethanol. But when it comes to grains, and as you pointed out, that the ethanol pricing needs to be changed itself from sugar. When it comes to grains, and there was a second notification that came in the evening as well. This was about Food Corporation of India e-auction, where the distilleries can also take part of now. But the pricing of that, and we've spoken to various millers since morning today, the calculation of that also is not feasible, does not work. So would you say, apart from sugar, the ethanol pricing from rice, from grains, from maize, etc., also needs to be perhaps reworked?
No, I believe we talk about mainly sugar feedstock. So my still focus will be at least to get the cane juice price of ethanol to at the level of maize to around 73 rupees. Which basically, that is exactly what government has done. Around 5 times the ethanol price was revised, and there's an absolutely set formula. So in that also, we have also given a formula, and we are expecting the cane juice ethanol to be revised to 73, followed by B heavy to around 67, and C to 61, around 60-61. But having said that, I think the rice decision of additional permission to use FCI rice for ethanol production, I feel this will also help our sugar mills who have dual feed distilleries.
Mr. Mr. Ballani, but the e-auction does take time. It's a long procedure and the calculations are not exactly profitable. So while you are pushing for all of this, are you also pushing for the rice grain ethanol?
We are still working on, we are trying to understand how the entire procurement will take place, Manisha ji. I think we will come back to you sooner once we have studied this order and also discussed with our millers.
As you mentioned, these are a couple of positives that we've seen the industry already see right now. Going forward, when you look at the September quota that has been made available for festivals, isn't so high. It's kind of neutral if you look at the number as compared to last year as well. So what is your sense of demand going forward for the festival season? And would you say that there's enough availability?
Yeah, there is enough stock. As you know, the closing stock in by end of September, we will have almost 85 to 90 lakh tons. And everyone knows that we have sufficient sugar stock in the mills. So I think there is no reason that the prices will go high. In fact, in last 15, 20 days, we have seen that the demand has slightly gone down. And I think government has done a right decision and given a reasonable quota of 23.5 lakh tons. I think this will help in stabilizing the prices. Having said that, 70% of the entire sugar is purchased by the bulk consumers and only 30% goes to the retail consumer. So I don't think this will have any inflation effect on the retail customers as well as sugar prices are concerned.
Also, Mr. Ballani, with the kind of government initiatives that we have seen come in for ethanol and the support back into this, would you say that the export demand that the industry had been making for some time can be put aside for time now?
No, I don't think so. See, as I said, we have a very high closing stock by 30th of September, and next year projection looks to be very good. And even if we take the domestic consumption of 285 to 90 lakh tons next year, and ethanol diversion of around 45 lakh tons, we will still have 20 lakh tons of sugar exports. And I think you know that the global market is slightly elevated because of some incidences in Brazil. So I think this is a very good window. This is a beautiful opportunity for the government to allow exports of around 20 lakh tons so that it could give at least some relief to the industry.
My final question is, since we are talking about 18% blending next year and 20% year after, and that would perhaps mean 9.5, 9.9 billion litres, would you say that with the kind of availability that we have, whether it comes from grains or sugar, we would be there on track?
Yeah, I think for 18% we'll require 900 crore litre, and going forward 20% will require 1,000 crore litre. At the moment, sugar industry has a capacity of around 850 crore litre. So with 80% efficiency and some diversion to ENA, we still have the capacity of producing 550 crore litre. So I don't think that there would be any problem in meeting the 18% or 20% target. The sugar industry at least is ready to provide 55% of the ethanol for 18% or 20% blending. But I think the very important factor, one has been addressed, is the sugar diversion towards ethanol. I think what is now needed is the correction in prices.
All right, so that will really define. While the numbers seem to be working fine, the trend seems positive as well. But the ethanol pricing is one thing that the industry is sitting and watching, waiting for right now, and that would ensure that we get the desired numbers there. Mr. Ballani, as always, thank you so much for joining us. With that, that's all the time that we have on the show. Business Lunch will take all the action ahead.